Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break?
They might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I, too, am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. Boy, oh boy, do I have news for you. No, I don't. Well, I mean, I always have news for you, but do I have a show for you? It is stacked. It is stacked in all the ways. But before I bring, you guys don't even know. It's like ain't no party like an S Club TTMD reboot party. I have my own little ramblings to get you like primed, foreplayed for our first guest who it's actually going to illuminate and validate my feelings that I didn't think the internet could become more brain dead. But here we are, never ceases to amaze me. So she put up a story that went viral, calling out very basic common sense logic against CNN. And then I'm going to bring into the chat, it's sort of like a juxtaposition, bring us to a better time, because I have part one of an interview with two directors of a new rock and roll documentary that really celebrates like rock and roll bitch, like the renegades, the misfits, the not this pussyfooting bullshit we see now. Oh, I need to get paid to give an appearance. Oh no, I can't say anything that's a little scary. Oh no, my PR is gonna spank me. Like, no. Okay, before this whole travesty of what it's become, like the real. So we're gonna transport you to that time because it's the directors of the doc, and we do talk about like holding up the pure good rock and roll days to, like I said, the sad state of affairs that entertainers, media, all of it has become now. So it's a really fun, blast from the past, like, flux capacitor is up and running. But first, while our guest makes her way into the chat, I'm sorry, I have to continue on about this because my brain, I can't get over it. I cannot get over how this is being handled. Now, I was told that I shouldn't be cussing as much, especially starting my Evie column, which gird your loins for Friday's column. Okay, let's just say it's going to trigger a certain cohort of people, and I can't wait. But I was told to be a lady, not cuss so much in video, in print, not fit to print, and only to use it with emphasis and to really proclaim something. So here it goes. The way that the media has been reacting to the AOC egg freezing journey is getting fucking weird. Like, you guys are getting weird. First, I can't wrap my head around it. And listen, I'm trying to be the bigger person and be above the fray and be above the algorithmic constant mental sumo wrestling matrix that we're plugged into. But when it comes to this issue, I'm trying to be the bigger person. I simply cannot, because it is weird. I don't know why these people are giving takes on something that A, doesn't make sense, and B, has literally nothing to do with them in their lives. It is weird. I could understand from the Megyn Kellys and the Matt Walshes, again, why I thought it was so bizarre, because I was like, you have been screaming from the rooftops for people to embrace motherhood, family, pregnancy, babies, and now like, oh, oopsie, someone doesn't do it the right way, so you're going to come and like beat them over that. Like, what are we talking about? Make it make sense. I came to peace and I came to terms with that, even though I found it completely hypocritical, obnoxious, and out of touch. But then I saw the likes of the free press out here with all of the audacity saying, she's 36 and should if she wants to get pregnant, she should just get pregnant now instead of freezing her eggs. Sure. Okay. Despite someone's political career ambitions, goals, not having a partner, and in this economy, it is fucking weird. Like, I don't understand it. And now I'm not jerking off the fertility industry or technology, but it's like, it's a different time. If a woman wants to utilize this technology available to us to preserve that hopefulness of a family, of babies, of pregnancy, what use is it to beat them over the head because they didn't meet their husbands at 23? What are we? I'm sorry. Do you want to construct a time portal for them to go in today? For us to go in today? Like, what are we talking about? It's so bizarre. And so I went off on a whole verbal word vomit diatribe to Rob yesterday. You already got part one going up against Matt Walsh when I first heard about this last week. And Rob kind of said to me, and I see Sunny backstage and I'll add her in. I was like, what? It's weird. And he said, Taylor, it's not weird. He's like, this is the algorithmic prison that we're in. It's like people cannot see outside of their sad little tunnel vision to think anything else. And it's so bizarre, no matter how hypocritical, no matter how dense, no matter how stupid it makes them look. And it's like, okay, is this supposed to be some like retribution to feminism girl bosshood? Like, well, this is what happens. Okay, so then you're gonna, if the people I knew or myself potentially who used egg freezing IVS to have beautiful babies, if they actually listened to you, they would have never had them. So then who the fuck wins? Like, make it make sense. It's so weird to me. It's so crazy. Again, I guess it shouldn't be weird given the state of affairs. But the way people are skirting around this issue, asserting this issue, being the end all be all morality police, not wanting to address it, it is weird. It's bizarre. So right on time is my friend and badass, Sunny Abata. I'm going to bring her. I'm going to bring her here because she had a story, not about the AOC egg freezing, but she was a former news affiliate anchor, has a killer podcast, Substack, dedicated base, and has like a working brain and is common sense thinking, and as a mom. So she had a story that went viral, a video that went viral. I'm going to add her here so she can tell her side of the tale. Hi, Sunny.
Hey, oh my God, it's so good to see you. Hi.
Sunny, we're like the yin yang twins.
I was like, I better put the girls out for Taylor.
Wait till you see my common sense. Okay, Sunny. So tell everybody in a nutshell what happened and what your takeaway from it was.
Like with the video that I posted?
Yes.
Well, I posted something, I guess it was like a month ago now. I was scrolling through, I was like downstairs making breakfast, a million things at once. And I'm scrolling through and on my regular feed, the CNN anchor comes across talking about how they are not airing President Trump's live address. It was the address that was alleging these election fraud issues. And I was like, oh, that's weird. It's weird for like a news anchor to like be like, we're not going to air it. And here's why. So I got kind of fired up, like just like you got fired up about the AOC stuff. I'm like, this just strikes me as very odd and very demeaning to our collective intellect that we are being protected as a people from the orange man bad words. Like, we're smart. We know the man lies. We can handle that. Let us figure it out. So I just in a frenzy, in a whipped up frenzy, which I don't normally post like this because it attracts a ton of fucking crazy people on the internet, I put together a reel and I said, this should offend you. And we cut right to the news anchor explaining why, holding verbally holding our hand, like, we think you're too delicate to hear the president's words, but don't worry, we're going to filter it through a team of experts, and then we're going to bring you clips. Listen, I worked in TV for 15 years. I've been in the media space for 20 plus years. I know what the rules are. I know what the regulations are. I know what's regular and what's standard and not standard. This is a very unstandard approach, given the fact that the president is speaking. A live address is almost always carried in its entirety. And it just struck me the wrong way, not because I'm president of the President Trump fan club, but because it is a collective dumbing down of our critical thinking skills at a time when we need them more than anything. Please let us practice. So I put this reel together and it got like 2,500 comments, which for me is a lot. I'm not like, I don't
get
have
it.
one of those pages. I'm scared to like poke the bear, and it's still getting comment. Like I got a comment today on it, and people are feel very strongly that it was the right decision because we need to be protected from his words. And I have people who feel very strongly that it was the wrong decision for the reasons that I sort of elucidated, which is it's taking away an opportunity for really important critical thinking skills. So yeah, that's like the long and short of it. But yeah,
So it's completely, you see this, you're like baseline adult human level. This is insulting to our intelligence. I don't need to be like, I'm in kindergarten with a CNN anchor holding my hand. We'll decide if this is
right.
okay for you to see. So insulting, which again is common sense. But the fact that you got so much flack for saying that, I think that's the scarier part, right? It's like, people are just out
Yeah.
here wanting to be volunteering to be
Yes.
brainwashed? Like
The
it's
answer is
so-
yes. The
it's
answer is
we
yes.
can't
You need to, yeah, you
think
need
for
to
ourselves.
peruse these comments. It's like, I'm fine with it. He lies. Newsflash, every politician lies. I will openly acknowledge, and it takes only a person with a functioning set of ears and eyes to understand that maybe President Trump is more of an more of a liar, or more caught in his lies more often. He's a very controversial man. We know this, we understand this. But you got to give us an opportunity as the American public to practice these critical thinking skills. When you're protecting us from what's coming out of one president's mouth, you're setting a precedent that allows the executives in charge of that network to decide, okay, this man is dangerous. We're going to protect you, and we're only going to air it in clips, and we're only going to air it with experts after the fact.
The experts.
So if
And
you're
Sunny,
okay with
I don't
that with President Trump,
Sunny,
you
please
better be okay with
proceed.
it down the line.
I'm getting burned here by like your ray of truth. So, and I at first it was like a third eye, but now I'm just like completely. So please continue, and also like don't mind my pants aren't even buttoned all the way. I like have a fupa because of said almost egg freezing process. But yeah,
Oh, I need to hear more about this. But yeah, I mean, that's the long and short of it is, and I said this before, it is very typical in the TV industry to air something like that in full. You have your panel of experts on standby, and the traditional sort of procedure is to let it air, bring in your experts, fact check the hell out of him, criticize the hell out of him if you want to, come against it or in favor of every word that comes out of his mouth. But you cannot chop it up, air only the parts that support the decision you've already made, which is the decision to withhold information. Like, given our algorithm heavy world and how we are so influenced by our individual feeds, we cannot take away the opportunity for people to practice that critical thinking on what I called in the reel and in the story that I wrote afterward is the primary source information. When something happens in a news story, that's the primary source, right? That's the person that something happened to, or in this case, the person that's giving the press conference. That is primary source information. Now, it doesn't have to be objectively right all the time, but as a journalist, that is what you go to and what you dig into, and then what you fact check. But if you take away the primary information and you only decide to give people bits and pieces or air it, and I know they did air it on their website, I believe, live, but when you're making these editorial decisions that they're protecting you from quote unquote misinformation, it gets very hairy because that standard will be applied to a president that you like. I promise you.
well, that's the
then what
thing,
happens?
right? Like what
Right.
happens? That's what I explored in my first EV column last week. Is like everybody has an opinion, and then what happens when it's your turn? But
What
to
happens?
your
And it will be
point,
your turn. It will be your turn.
it will
be
be
all
your
of our
turn.
Yes.
But Sunny, here's the thing. I think that you are giving too much credit to
I think
the public, because the fact that you're like, let's like foster critical thinking. I'm like, where? And I'll
No.
say this to anyone, and not you find people watching and in the comments, but nothing will show you how dumb people are, like having your own show, which I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
these people really roam among us. Again, your example, the Candace Owens phenomenon of it all, right? And the spectacle of that debate, again, like as much critical thinking as this piece of paper. And even like I said, the egg freezing thing, something that's so like in my mind benign and common sense that it's become so politicized that there is really no critical thinking, and these algorithms have made these mental hells for us. Sonny, I don't know, and I mean this honestly, I don't know if and how we get out of it at this point. Like it's so even like take the egg freezing thing, Sonny. I thought about somebody like my mom, right? Who, when I told her I was doing it, she was like, I think that's great. You've always wanted to be a mom. Now you can just like move on and live your life and not think about it. Sonny, just gonna be honest. She's a Fox News connoisseur. If
Mm,
she's listening, like she was so pure, right?
mhm,
And I'm
mhm.
going, had I done it after all this, and she was listening to all these conservatives and this and that, I guarantee you she would have a different, like it's stigmatized, it's weird, it's wrong. And she's a smart woman, but it goes to show it's so far gone.
Because it is so tempting to be validated. What these little things have done is create an urge for us to be validated like never before because it's so easy to get a dopamine hit, right? And scroll through. So now that's all we want. We
Mhm.
only want people we agree with. We only want things that validate us. And this is my challenge. And I think you're so right, Taylor. Like this is like an epidemic. It is
Yes.
every individual person's responsibility to assume curiosity and to assume responsibility, and this is why I'm so passionate about sourcing from different sides. I know there are services that do this now. I do this in my Substack column, but you have to want it. It's like I tell my kids with life things. You want to be a good athlete, you better want it. You want to get into you have to want to reach out of that bubble, or you will consign yourself to just an echo chamber for the rest of your life. And maybe will you be comfortable there? Yes, but you will be missing out on an entirely fulfilled experience and understanding things on a greater level. I really think it's at this point more psychology than intellect. I think they don't have the urge to do it though, because our culture rewards our victim culture rewards being offended, being validated. It rewards feeling over fact. And we have and
Yeah.
I think cable news was the genesis of this, right? These 24-hour
100.
news stations that needed
Yeah.
content, right? So what they stopped doing was just telling you what's happening, and they brought on, oh, let's talk about this. And the line between editorial and objective got blurred, and then social media comes along and it amplifies. Everything is editorial.
Well, it's
Almost
also like
everything is editorial.
you only get rewarded both in our business, on social media, by the algorithm if you are a robot. I'm sorry. Like it's pure again,
Yeah.
I know I keep bringing it back to this because it hits close to home for me, and it's hit close to home a million times. COVID and whatever, a million things, but like this example, I can't wrap my blonde head around it. I'm like, this is so wild to me that people are so dense. And before I let you go, Sunny, something I had Black Grant on. He's like the only influencer besides you that I actually like to listen to. Like the two of you are like the only ones because everyone annoys me and you can think clearly. But he basically said, we were talking about Candace Owens, right? And it pertains really to any of this, but it's like these people will uphold this person as their messiah because otherwise, or whatever it is, ideology, because otherwise their entire worldview will just completely shatter and be
Right.
dismantled. It's like they can't handle it. So I don't know where we go from here. I'm curious, like just the last, minute or two here, your thoughts, Sunny, as this pertains to the fertility conversation, how nuts it, being a mom yourself,
Mhm.
having kids, in this world, like what you make of all of it.
I mean, I caught up quickly on. I didn't realize there were so many opinions because I heard it happening. I was like, "That's great.
Crazy.
That's good for her." Like, who? Why can't we just
No,
be
it's weird.
like that? Is the way it is. Technology that's available. It is a possibility that is out there, and I applaud when women make the decision to consider motherhood. I literally. I wasn't like, oh, holding babies, girl. Like I was like, I'm good. I have had kids, and It's the coolest thing in the world. So when I'm like, if I'm not surprised by how fun motherhood is, I'm like, anybody would be. So when I see another woman, like I feel that I was ambitious and with big goals and thinking like, you know what, this actually could be in my future. I think it's wonderful. It is such a gift in so many ways. And it is disappointing. And it often comes from, well, I guess not all the time. It comes from women too. But sometimes I
Yeah.
have noticed, and this happens after you have the baby too, when you do things in a way that people didn't do it themselves, it is foreign and it makes
That's
them be
it.
like, ugh.
That.
Like it
It's
gives them
that.
that, ugh. Yeah.
It's
And we
that
have to
part.
fight that urge. Yeah. Like let the woman
With
live.
any of
Yeah.
this, right, Sunny? I mean, and that's how I'll wrap our time today together, but it's like that's what I'm learning from all this. And I think this particular topic, yes, it's close to home, but also it's so striking because it's something so basic and primal. And it's like I can understand a politicized president or big issue or the Middle East, but it's like something like this that everybody has it's crazy to me. And it just goes to show how deep the mind rot, the algorithms, the echo chambers have gone. Like it's so crazy to me. So
We cannot win as women. You really can't.
it
So
really
after
is. So
yeah.
it's with thought, it's with anything. It's whenever it becomes threatening to somebody, again, their own experience or worldview, they'll go scorched earth. Which the last thing I'll say is how ironic coming from both sides that say live and let live, libertarian, blah, 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 blah. Like,
Yep.
it's not
That's
making
why,
sense.
yep, you never hang your hat on anyone, like a political party or a politician or a media figure. Like
Yeah.
again, you have to want it. You have to want to have your own opinions. You got to pull from in here because there is so much noise out there. And like I said, and after you have the kids, it doesn't go away either. People have opinions on how you raise them and how you feed them and how they look and how they're dressed. And you have to get so good at just being like, done. We're good.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's
That's
wild.
true.
And I wish her all the best. I think that this is not a conversation that politics has to be a part of. Like her personal decision to do this. I wish her well, and I hope it all works out. I hope it all
It's the
works out.
first time I saw her humanized in my eyes.
Yeah.
And yeah, with all this, it's like I'm you know me, I'm never the like women are victims, women have it hard, but I see all this and I'm like, man, there's nothing that women and men love to dictate over control more than a woman making, I don't know, her own empowered choices. Like it's wild. Sunny, you are the best.
You are.
Um, and
Taylor.
come back into our corner of the web again. Thank you for doing the good work and
Oh,
maintaining
thanks.
what's left of common sense. Love you, Sunny.
You're so fun. Thanks, Taylor. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Sunny Abata, everybody. She is the best. We got to talk with Sunny. You got to check her out. Such just, again, normal. The fact that like normal thinking is the fray and like we are the rebels and misfits tells you everything you need to know. So with that said, here are the first 10 minutes, part one of my interview with the directors of the new documentary, If These Walls Could Rock. And it's a very fun ride. I watched it, nostalgic, good days. Maybe I'll pop up and watch it with you. And again, just make you feel uncomfortable. But either way, enjoy. Okay. Rock and roll is here to stay, bitches. Well, certainly, if these two have something to do with it. I am here with the co-directors of the new documentary, If These Walls Could Rock, with the award-winning Tyler Measom and Craig A. Williams. And this movie, it showcases and celebrates a haven of rock and roll, the iconic, legendary Sunset Marquee Hotel. And everybody's in this movie. Everyone. I'm going to just name drop a few. Bruce Springsteen, Ringo Starr, Slash, Cyndi Lauper, Sheryl Crow, Dave Grohl, Billy Bob Thornton. You have Kelly Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne. And the hits just keep on coming. So guys, let's get into this. I'm going to just start with the quiet part out loud. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, the good times, they just don't make them like that. We just don't roll like that anymore. Like these kids, this culture could never, right?
Yeah.
Why?
No.
Why? Why are we so boring?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Cell phone cameras. Cell phone cameras.
Cell phone
Windows.
cameras, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, there is a mystique. You know, there's a when partiers, rock stars were the Stones. That's what you did. You partied like the Stones. You trashed a hotel room like the Who. It just doesn't happen anymore, and I just don't think people would want that. I don't think the audiences would want that. I think if somebody found out that a contemporary band like Imagine Dragons trashed a hotel room, people would go, well, that's disrespectful. Why would you do that? That's So I wouldn't necessarily say it's part of the audience or the band as much as it is the audience. You know, I went backstage. You know, you hang out with rock stars. I went backstage. I saw Fall Out Boy, and they played a stadium. And I went backstage, and they were doing Sudoku and FaceTiming their kids. And I thought, is rock and roll dead as we know it, as we grew up knowing it?
Yeah. I sort of suspect they're doing it behind closed doors. They're just not doing it in public like they used to. But
damn, it's just we've killed all that is good in the world. Like video killed the radio star, the people killed the rock star, I guess. And
the cell phone may have killed the rock. The cell phone camera.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like, as I was telling you guys, so I was a red carpet reporter from 2015 to 2020. And even then it was starting, but I feel like I caught the last of the heyday. But the folks before me, they're like, oh man, Taylor, you missed, like, we'd be at the after parties here. Like people would just be rogue and really letting their hair down. And now everything is uptight and sanitized and, all of it. And so, I'm definitely bummed I missed it.
I will say this. I think part of it is that Guns N' Roses made a whole hell of a lot more money than musicians do now. They had an expense account, and when they trashed a hotel room, they sold enough albums that they could pay for that hotel room trashed. I don't think musicians make as much. I know musicians don't make as much money now that they're able to have that fun.
Taylor Swift could trash a hotel room.
That's fair.
She could buy a hotel room. She could trash the whole hotel.
Yeah,
Craig.
Yeah,
and she'd be fine.
Yeah, like it's really a fiscal problem. But is there? Look, I have in this movie. I watched it last night, and it resonates with me on every level because my whole show is about what this movie celebrates, like the true renegades and misfits, and creatively, artistically, intellectually, and not fitting in a box, and like the true liberation that even an establishment like this really represented and fostered. I don't know if it's wishful thinking, right? But hoping that there will be kind of a pendulum swing to the other way. Are you hopeful for that, or is it's dead as dead in this regard?
Am I hopeful for that? I would like to see it. Yeah, sure. I think it would be great. I think we need these kind of outlaws and misfits in our society. It's not what I want my kids to aspire to, but I would like to see more debauchery. I want to hear some more. You do hear it every once in a while, and people, like Tyler says, they get shamed for it, so it's like they take it behind closed doors. But sure, yes, bring it back. Fuck yeah.
It's funny though, Craig, how you're like, not for my kids per se, but you guys, that's funny. You guys have at it.
There's also a sort of reverence for the musicians that had a good time doing that. But what they did was kind of childish. I mean, there's a moment in the film where Chris Robinson talks about tearing apart a brand new, very nice hotel room and being kind of a dick, and he acknowledges it. And there's an element of like, well, grow up. You're not children. You can't, go up in your room and trash your room anymore. You'll get grounded. So I think what we're missing, more than just that, I think what is missing from rock and roll today is the community. The fact of the matter is people can record an album in their basement. They don't have to go to a studio. They can be rock stars before they play 10,000 gigs. They can record a song and it can be a hit on Instagram. What is missing from today's artists, and I'm labeling all of them, all artists, is the community effort. And when George Rosenthal founded the Sunset Marquee in 1963, he wanted that. I want a place where artists can come, they can be themselves, they can commune, they can create, they can explore, they can have fun, they can throw a TV out of the window as long as they pay for it. And that's what the hotel really celebrates. And Dave Grohl says it in the film. Like, it's still good. He says, I still believe it's best when you get together, when you're working on an artistic project, to do it face to face. And
Mm-hmm.
as a filmmaker, it's true. We don't do that enough, and I don't think musicians do it enough. That's what we need to bring back, not throwing TVs out of a window,
That's fair.
being together.
You know what it also is? It's like the what do you know, but the balls or the audacity to actually be different. Like, I'm not going to do it right now, but I will pop off on the homogenous, what I call the robot influencer culture of everybody literally being copy and paste and trying to be the same thing to fit an algorithm. And so that's why watching this was so refreshing, because it's like, what happened to that? It's like daring to actually be different and a free thinker. And that's something that when I talk about the swing, you know, if and how that will come back, because everybody is trying to be like everybody else and it's gross.
Well, I can tell you one thing that's encouraging right now is, like, at least in Los Angeles, I would think Nashville's the same, is there really is this kind of backyard community that's coming alive again, where bands are showing up
Yeah. Yeah.
and people are showing up to see these bands. It's not in clubs, it's not online, it's not in arenas. It's like, people just like sending out a blast and being like, here's we're going to play tonight, and people show up and a party forms.
Mhm.
I'm hopeful for that.
Yeah. I
It's
think so
literally
too.
called Backyard Party. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
promoting it, but that's what they're called.
Like, I'm not paid to promote that. No, but, but it's above my pay grade. No, but no, it's true. I think so too. I think everything becoming, like I said, so homogenous, so fake, so digitized. Like, we're going to crave that, in person community, that those experiences that like no digital, no nothing, no going viral in your basement can replicate. It just can't.
Yep. Yeah.
Something about this film too that I love is how it inadvertently and sort of peripherally captures like the different iterations of, of course, pushing the boundary, and also even like culture wars. Like, a little tidbit about this I loved is how George, the founder, how he helped Hugh Hefner build the Playboy Club in LA, and then ultimately built this like a stone's throw from it purposefully. My viewers know Playboy is very near and dear to my heart. I'm the only woman actually who both posed and was featured in as a writer in the same issue, all on
Really?
Free Expression. Yeah. So when I
Oh.
saw that tidbit in the film, I was so stoked. And
Just so you know, I'm the only man who's ever done that in Playboy, but
see, I was
different
just trying to
story.
follow
Yeah.
your footsteps.
It
Is
didn't sell
all.
as well. That
Yeah.
didn't sell as well, though, Craig.
Big
It
shoes
was
to
not.
It's
fill.
unfortunate. No.
Big shoes to fill. And I'm sure you guys have thought about this too in the process, right? Like, how rock and roll or music continues to be in the fold, even if it doesn't want to be, or even if it spearheads, um, in the culture wars, and how that plays out. Like, I'm sure you think about that.
I think rock and roll has become a little bit corporate. And I think it's look,
Sanitized.
a very, yeah, a little bit. I will say, like, we had a really hard time getting contemporary artists to speak in the film.
Mm,
I think a part of that is, I don't think the hotel means as much to them as it does to Bruce Springsteen. But also, there's an element of, a lot of them wanted to get paid. I mean, and that's, they don't go to parties unless they get compensated, and that's part of the influencer generation of,
yeah. Oh, I know.
I'm saying something to you, you owe me something as well, and so that's, I think, what I think is a sad element, and a sad testament of today, rather than just telling the stories because they're fun stories.
It makes me so sad. I've seen it too on my end. It's like everyone wants something, everyone's opportunistic, and it's like, can't we just can't you just do it for what have you, the sake of doing it or being
Yeah.
part of something?
Yeah, and it goes back to what Tyler was saying, which is, you know, they're not making money off album sales anymore. They make money off of live performances, but
Mhm.
they have to find ways to have a revenue stream of their own, I suppose, to put it in very corporate terms,
Yeah, Vicky
Somebody's got to
Hamilton.
eat.
I know Vicky Hamilton. She was an early manager, and she early managed Guns N' Roses and Poison. And she said We used to give away T-shirts to sell albums, and now we give away albums to sell T-shirts. And that
Wow,
is
yeah.
really how rock and roll has changed.
Dang. And you know what it is too, guys? Actually, Gene Simmons in the movie had me thinking about this because I just saw him at Summerfest in Milwaukee. And he says in the movie, you know, all right. So that is a little, I was like, I'm here, Mayday. So that's a first half for you. And I left it on a little bit of a cliffhanger because we start to get into the Gene Simmons story and the politics of it all in the culture wars and where rock and roll fits into that. So just get ready. It gets really interesting. And yes, what they're saying about influencers being so shameless and wanting to be paid for anything, like even showing their pinky finger, I can attest to it. It's just a sad, sad world. So guys, I will see you Friday. I'll be airing part 2 of this. The little cliffhanger there. Evan will be in for that. Could have been an email. And is there anywhere else that you really want to be? Let's be honest. I don't think so. I'll see you there. Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
They might flash you.
Random baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
Around?
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash